This is Algebra Elimination notes for Part 4. Part 4 is a little more difficult because you're going to need to multiply both equations by something. So here, notice that we have the coefficients on the x is 2 and 5. 2 does not go into 5. And the coefficients on the y is 3 and 7. These are both positives. These are both positives. So we're going to need to make one of them a negative that we multiply by. Now this time around, I chose to get rid of my x's. And by choosing to get rid of the x's, that 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to multiply this 2 by 5, because that's what we want to get rid of down here. And I'm going to multiply this 5 by 2, because that's what I want to get rid of here. Since these two signs are not alike, I need to make one of these a negative. It does not matter whether you make the 5 a negative or the 2 a negative. Now, you only do the negative if the signs are alike here that you're trying to eliminate, because you want one a positive and one a negative. So I multiply both sides of this equation by negative 5. Multiply both sides of this equation by 2. So now, I'm going to take and multiply that, and I get a negative 10x minus negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. Negative 5 times 3y is a negative 15y. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. Now I'm going to go back and do the other equation. 2 times 5x is positive 10x. 2 times 7y is positive, make sure you make that a positive 14y, equals 3 times 2, which is 6. Now we're going to add these two together. Negative 10 plus 10 eliminates these two. You can cross them out if it helps you. Negative 15y plus 14y, put that into your calculator, is negative 15 plus 14. Gives you a negative 1y. A negative 5 plus 6 gives us a positive 1. Now we need to divide both sides by negative 1 to get rid of the negative, and we get y equals a negative 1. Now you can take that negative 1 and put it back up into either one of these original equations. So we're going to take, I chose the 2x plus 3y equals 1. So I put down 2x plus 3 times negative 1, replacing the y with the negative 1, equals 1. Bring down my 2x. My 3 times negative 1 is a negative 3, equals 1. We're going to add 3 to both sides. When we do that, we get 2x equals 4. Now divide by 2, we get x equals 2. Take your 2 for x and your negative 1 for y. Put it into both of your equations, 2 for x, negative 1 for y in both. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 4 plus negative 3 is 1. 5 times 2 is 10. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. 10 minus 7 is 3. So this checks. Now, when you go to your work, this is really where it's important, where you're going to go side by side. I decided this time to show you that I'm going to get rid of the y's this time. So I'm going to multiply this by 7 and multiply this by 3. Okay, and now these signs are alike, so I need to change one of them. This time I chose to change this one. It doesn't matter. Okay, so side by side, 7 times 2 is 14x. 7 times 3 is 21y. 7 times 1 is 7. Be sure you take 3 times everything. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Draw your line. You're going to add these two. 14 minus 15 gives us a negative 1x. These two Positive 21 minus 21 cancels these out. They are eliminated. 7 minus 9 is negative 2. To solve for x, we need to divide by negative 1. So x equals a positive 2. Take that 2 back up here, over here, put it into either one of these original equations. I just chose the bottom one because it's right there and it's easier to look at. So 5 times 2 plus 7y equals 3. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 7y equals 3. To solve for y, we need to subtract 10 on both sides. 7y equals negative 7. Divide both sides by 7. We get y equals a negative 1. Take that 2 and that negative 1, put it back into both equations, and be sure that it checks. Again, using the cover-up method with a piece of paper, a ruler, or something will help you probably find your mistakes faster. So we will finish this up today with a few problems like this. It's a little more complicated, but I have faith in you that you will be able to do it. Have a good day.